Hi, I'm Sophia. 2 years ago, I believed finding my dream job would be easy. I had just graduated from college. I had a good resume, big dreams, and endless hope. I told my parents, "Don't worry. I'll get a job very soon." They smiled. They believed me. And honestly, so did I. My first interview lasted only 15 minutes. The interviewer smiled. Then politely said, "We'll let you know." I walked out, feeling confident. But days passed. No phone call. No email. Just silence. I told myself, it's okay. The next one will be better. Then came the second interview. The fourth. The seventh. The 10th. Every interview started with hope. And ended with disappointment. Some interviewers said, "You need more experience." Others said, "Your communication skills need improvement." Some didn't even look at my resume. They rejected me within minutes. Months passed. My classmates started posting photos from their new offices. Some got promotions. Some bought their first bike. Some even started helping their families financially. Every time I saw those photos, I smiled. Then quietly locked my phone. Because deep inside, it hurt. Every morning, I opened my email, hoping to read, "Congratulations." Instead, I kept seeing, "We regret to inform you." One rejection. Then another. Until there were 20. After my 20th interview, I walked home in the pouring rain. I didn't even open my umbrella. For the first time, I stopped blaming bad luck. I blamed myself. When I reached home, my mother opened the door. She looked at my face. She didn't ask, "Did you get the job?" She already knew. She quietly served dinner. No one spoke. That silence was louder than any rejection. Later that night, I sat alone, looking at 20 rejection emails. Tears filled my eyes. I whispered, "Maybe I'm just not good enough." Just then, my father walked into my room. He placed an old notebook on my table. On the first page, one sentence was written. "Rejection is not proof that you should stop. It's proof that you should grow." I looked at him. He smiled. That night, I closed all 20 rejection emails, opened a blank notebook, and wrote, "Interview number 21 will be different." But I had no idea that one decision would completely change my life. The next morning, I didn't apply for another job. Instead, I opened my old resume. For the first time, I looked at it like an interviewer. And honestly, it wasn't good. It looked exactly the same as thousands of other resumes. Then I remembered my father's words. "Don't just work harder. Become better." That day, I changed everything. I rewrote my resume. I practiced speaking English. I watched mock interviews. I stood in front of my mirror and answered interview questions. Again. And again. At first, it felt embarrassing. Sometimes, I became nervous, even in front of my own mirror. But I refused to give up. Every rejection had taught me something new. 1 week later, I received another interview call. Interview number 21. As I entered the office, my hands were shaking. The interviewer smiled and asked, "Tell me about yourself." This time, I didn't panic. I smiled, took a deep breath, and answered with confidence. The interview lasted almost 40 minutes. When I walked out, I felt different. Not because I knew I would get the job, but because, for the first time, I had given my best. 3 days later, my phone rang. My heart started beating faster. I answered, with trembling hands. The HR manager said, "Hello, Sophia. Thank you for attending the interview." My smile slowly disappeared. I thought another rejection was coming. Then she continued, "Unfortunately." My heart sank. I closed my eyes. But before I could speak, she finished her sentence. "The position you applied for has been filled." Tears filled my eyes. Then she smiled, "But our manager was very impressed with your interview. We have another position, and we'd like to offer it to you." I couldn't believe what I had just heard. I finally got a job offer. Not for the position I applied for, but because someone believed in my potential. On my first day, I was nervous. Everything was new. New people. New responsibilities. I made mistakes. Small mistakes. Sometimes, I felt like I didn't belong. But this time, I didn't run away. I kept learning. I asked questions. I stayed late to understand my work better. Every single day, I tried to become 1% better. 3 months later, my manager called me into his office. For a moment, I thought I had done something wrong. Instead, he smiled. Then said, "Sophia, we've been watching your progress. You never complain. You never stop learning. We're proud to have you on our team." Hearing those words brought tears to my eyes. That evening, I walked home. Not because I had become successful overnight, but because I had become a different person. When I reached home, my parents were waiting. I handed my first salary to my mother. She looked at me. Her eyes filled with tears. So if you're watching this after another rejection, please don't quit. Your story isn't over. Maybe your success isn't waiting at interview number 1. Maybe, just like mine, it's waiting at interview number 21.